Hello everyone, welcome back to Virtual Lab Infra once again in my hardware server training series. What if you could build a complete enterprise data center in your bedroom using any hardware server, your home internet connection and free virtualization software? So in this video, I'll show you how I turned a Dell PowerEdge R710 hardware server into a full enterprise lab running VMware workstation, nested VMware ESXi hosts, VMware vCenter server, Microsoft Active Directory, and even Citrix and BDA solutions. And the best part, my internet in the hall while the server is in another room. So by end of this video, you will understand how to connect your home internet to a dedicated server, how to build a professional virtualization, how nested ESXi works inside VMware workstation, how to access everything from single laptop, and how this setup can help you learn real world enterprise technology. So if you look at here in my diagram, this is home lab network design where I am using GeoFiber internet connecting to all the way from one room to another room using Cat6 cable, which is Ethernet cable, to the server using 8-port gigabyte managed switch. So this is 8-port switch where from where I'll be using my laptop connecting to the server and the hosts. So in this network diagram, if you see, I am using Dell PowerEdge R710 hardware server. I have installed server OS on top of this hardware and running the VMware workstation, which is 17 Pro. In VMware workstation only, I am going to install. So I have already installed VMware ESXi hosts and installed VMware vCenter server, and I'm going to access them from the single console laptop. So if you look at here, this Dell server has two ports. One is for management network, one is for IDRAC port. So from my laptop, I'll be using two LAN cables one by one. So one LAN cable I'll be connecting to the switch which has the IDRAC LAN cable connected to it, so that I will be able to access the IDRAC, which is integrated Dell remote access control. So with that console, I'll be able to manage my Dell server, hardware server, by I can reboot the server, I can power it off, I can upgrade the firmware, softwares, BIOS, and everything using the IDRAC console. To use these resources like ESXi host 102, vCenter server, my few servers are hosted in workstation like Active Directory domain controllers. I can directly take them RDP from the laptop. So let's quickly understand here. The physical layout overview is nothing but in one room, I am connected GeoFiber router using cable Cat6 cable Ethernet. I am giving internet to my server switch, which is connected to my server. So that is how the lab environment which I have built. Now I will quickly show you how from the laptop I can access all these resources quickly. So let's jump to the browser. And for now, I have connected one of the LAN cable and I have assigned 192.168.1.110. So 110 IP I have given for my IDRAC port. So I'm going to access that and show you quickly. So as you can see, 192.168.1.110 is my IDRAC IP address. I'm going to connect the LAN cable and show you. Okay, so the IDRAC console is accessible now. So to configure this IDRAC console, so this IDRAC console configuring it, you have to do it on BIOS mode actually. So you'll have to, press the control E once your server is rebooting, and you have to configure the IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway on the BIOS mode. And with that IP, you will be able to access this IDRAC. So there will be a Password option you need to uh, configure it, and with that root password you can access the IDRAC console. Let me show you accessing this console. So currently I have connected one of the LAN cable to my Dell server. So when you turn this server to a backside and see, there will be a setting icon. So you have to connect your LAN cable to this setting icon port. That is the IDRAC port. With that connectivity, you should be able to access whatever IP you have configured for your IDRAC. So as you can see, I'm able to access with 192.168.1.100, sorry, 110, and I can see the console and I can manage everything from here. So I can power it on, power cycle, view virtual console. So as you can see, as I said, I have installed server operating system on my Dell hardware server, and I have top of that I have installed VMware workstation, and where I have hosted my VMware ESXi host 0102, and one of the domain controller server which is responsible to authentication purpose. That is my DNS and DHCP server. So all this responsibility that domain controller will do. And then I have installed ESXi host 01 and 02. And in ESXi host 01, I have installed VCenter server. So I will show you quickly everything. So let's quickly see this. So IDRAC setting, you can see the details of IDRAC. So I will not take much time on this IDRAC because I want to show you the home lab design and how I am accessing it. So to access the IDRAC console, I have used my IDRAC port LAN cable connected to my laptop. Using that IP address, I am able to access the IDRAC console. So IDRAC cons when I say IDRAC is nothing but integrated Dell remote access controller. This is a sixth version, and this is quite older hardware, so we are using IDRAC 6. So you can launch this and you can access your hardware server as well. So I'm going to disconnect the LAN cable of IDRAC port, and I'm going to connect the management network so that I can access the other resources, which is hosted on workstation, VMware workstation. So I have connected the other LAN cable. Now if I refresh the page, I won't be able to access this. So now since I have connected the other LAN cable, and in my VMware workstation, I have already installed ESXi host 01 and 02. Let me show you quickly. So stay tuned, guys. So follow, subscribe my channel, and share with your friends and colleagues. Please do subscribe so that you will not lose any of the training series or any of the upcoming videos. So our actually the motto here is the aim that I'm looking for is I'm going to cover everything, not only the on-premise servers and automation. We will be discussing more about Azure cloud on our upcoming days. So here so far I have created Intune administrator training series. You can go and watch my playlist. So Intune training series is completed. Windows Server training series is going on. Then VMware Hypervisor training series is also going on, where I have where I'll be explaining everything about hypervisors. Then I have newly started this hardware training series where I will show you not only the lab that I have created, I will also guide you how you can create your own home lab and setup just like the enterprise data center. As I said, in my ESXi host itself, I have installed vCenter server. So as you can see, my vCenter server is running. My first vCenter server is VCSH01, which is installed on ESXi host 001. Similarly, I have installed second ESXi host, and the IP address I have given, the IP address for this ESXi host are coming from the Active Directory domain server, DC primary domain controller server. I'll show you that as well. So these are two ESXi hosts, guys, and I have also installed vCenter server. And in this vCenter server, I have added both of the ESXi hosts. Sorry. So these are the two ESXi hosts, and both of the hosts has vCenter server installed, and those are running. So these two ESXi hosts are added on my vCenter server 01 appliance. So this is my data center architecture. So I have created two data center. One is for data center BLR and one is for data center DR. So basically, Bangalore data center is a production cluster where I have added both the ESXi host, and I'll be using for high availability. If one of the host goes down, how it will take over and migrate all the VMs to second host without any impact to the end users. And disaster recovery data center I have created. So in this cluster, I will be doing disaster recovery from production to DR cluster. So this is going to be a very interesting training series, guys, and you will be learning a lot of things. We will be also having a troubleshooting sessions uh, very soon. So if you click on the home, and I'll show you quickly. So uh, the first ESXi host I have assigned. Let me show you the configuration. So my domain name is virtuallabinfra.com, and these servers are getting DNS server is nothing but my primary domain controller itself. Default gateway I am using 192.168.1.1. Similarly, for ESXi host 2, go to host and see. I am using, okay, so secondary ESXi host IP address is 192.168.1.14, and first ESXi host, sorry, that is the vCenter, guys. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so here is the IP address. My first ESXi host IP address is 192.168.1.13, and our vCenter server is 1.14. For ESXi host, uh, the IP address is 192.168.1.10, and both the ESXi hosts are getting utilized with this vCenter server 1.14. So you are able to see this vCenter server IP address here. So I have assigned 16 gig of memory, 2 CPU, and if you go to data store, sorry, so around 392, around 390 GB of capacity we have given for storage. Similarly, for ESXi host 01, we have 455 GB of a space, and the memory we have 13 GB, and for CPU, 4 core CPU we have provided. So for this is ESXi 6.5 version, guys. So the latest version is 8 now. So since my hardware server is quite old model, and that is why I'm using 6.5. And for 6.5, so this configurator is more than enough. For latest version it may differ. So accordingly, you can set up your home lab and you can practice, guys. So this is all about the hardware server design and my home lab design. If you feel interested and you find really helpful, please do subscribe my channel, like my videos and share with your friends. We will meet you on next session. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye.